Chiefs won the toss. They have deferred. Harrison Butker will kick off, and Indianapolis will get the ball first. Zach Pascal back to receive. So either Kansas City plays here next week, or if Indianapolis wins, they'll go either to New England or Los Angeles. And away we go from Kansas City. Pascal gets to run it back from the 2-yard line. And the coverage is good. They take him down at the 22-yard line. Anthony Sherman is there. And let's take a look at the Indy offense.
Andrew Luck, Stanford University.
Marlon Mack, University of South Florida.
T.Y. Hilton, FIU.
Dontrell Inman, University of Virginia.
Eric Ebron, I am a Tar Heel.
Ryan Hewitt, Stanford.
Anthony Costanzo, Boston College.
Quentin Nelson, Notre Dame.
Ryan Kelly, Alabama.
Mark Lewinsky, Lackawanna College.
Braden Smith, Auburn University.
2 rookies on that offensive line. They've done a great job. Indianapolis allowed the fewest sacks in the league, and they begin with a run and a 3-yard loss. Dee Ford is right there to stop Marlon Mack in the backfield. Good beginning for the Chiefs. It'll be 2nd down and make it 13.
Well, Dee Ford is the guy you think of as the pass rusher, but these are the kind of plays the Chiefs are going to have to make in the run game today. Because now when you make a big play on 1st down, it sets up their top pass rushing unit to go get Andrew Luck.
Crowd already in full throat. 2nd play of the game, 2nd and 13. And a toss back to Mack. And Mack has some room. Good run. Out he goes to the 28-yard line. Had a terrific day last week in Houston. And they go from 2nd and long to 3rd and short.
One of the key guys on the end of the line of scrimmage is number 14, Zach Pascal. He is going to be the guy in many cases that has to make that key block. There he comes down with the crackback block on the edge and sets up that run, and now he make him a little bit more manageable at 3rd and 3.
Dontrell Inman for the moment is going to line up in the backfield, then he goes into the slot on the left. Kansas City getting repositioned on defense, and Luck throws, and that's incomplete, intended for Eric Ebron. Throw a little low, and so Indy begins with a 3 and out. And that means Tyreek Hill is going to go back to receive the kick. Rigoberto Sanchez will put it in the air for the Colts.
Now, one of the strange things is this snow can actually get in your eyes on occasion, and looking up can be a bit of a danger.
It's blowing, there's no question about that. Hill, he backs up, collects it, and a flag is down. He goes down, but he wasn't touched, so the play is still alive, but there's a flag down all the way back upfield. And he takes it out to the 50-yard line. But John Hussey is today's referee, and he'll clue us in. Little conversation going on in front of the bench. Penalty is going to be against Kansas City.
During the kick, holding receiving team. Number 39, that penalty will be enforced after this is the goal from the end of the kick, 1st down.
Tremon Smith. All right, Kansas City has the ball. Let's meet their offense.
Patrick Mahomes II, Texas Tech University.
Damian Williams, Mary Mesa High School.
Tyreek Hill, Pearson, Georgia.
Sammy Watkins, Clemson.
Chris Conley, Georgia.
Travis Kelce, Cleveland Heights, Ohio.
Eric Fisher, Fire Up Chips.
Cameron Irvin, Florida State.
Mitch Morse, Missouri.
Andrew Wiley, Eastern Michigan.
Mitchell Schwartz, Cal.
Mitchell Schwartz, once again this year, has not missed a snap. So the first play is a fake, and then the pass is caught by Tyreek Hill. And they begin with an 11-yard gain on 1st down.
Well, you've heard the phrase a lot this year. This is an RPO, so they're going to read it. The run game off to the left, and that moves the linebackers just a bit, throw the slant right in behind them. And anytime you get somebody like Tyreek Hill, the ball in the open space can be very, very, very dangerous.
And duly noted, Mahomes' first postseason pass, an 11-yard gain. The running back is Damian Williams. He got action up front. Of course, everybody signals it's the other guy.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense. Number 96. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Danico Autry came across the line. So Patrick Mahomes. They sent Alex Smith to Washington. He took over on opening day. 50 touchdowns. It's happened only 3 times. With Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, the other guys to do it. And a 113.8 rating, which is terrific. 1st and 5. This is Damian Williams. And Williams fighting his way, still on his feet, but they're going to rule the forward progress is down, and so is the official coming in to spot it. 3rd and short, and make it 2nd down and short as we meet the Colts defense.
Jabal Sheard, University of Pittsburgh.
Danico Autry, Albemarle High School.
Marcus Hunt, SMU.
Al-Quadin Muhammad, the U.
Darius Leonard, South Carolina State.
Anthony Walker Jr., Northwestern.
Kenny Moore, Valdosta State. Clayton Gethers, University of Central Florida.
George Odom, UCA. Pierre Desir, Lindenwood University.
Quincy Wilson, University of Florida.
Darius Leonard, 53, great looking rookie as Mahomes throws, caught. Kelce makes the catch, and Kelce gets taken down near midfield. Another Kansas City first down. Kenny Moore, Clayton Gathers knocked them to the turf.
This would be my #1 concern today. You play a lot of zone defenses, and Travis Kelce really understands how to work those little vacancies in that zone. And so it is going to be one of those games, I think, where the Colts are willing to give up some of those short plays, but you see the 2 deep safeties back deep. There's just no way they're going to let Tyreek Hill get behind him.
Sammy Watkins, top of the screen, flank to the left, has missed the last 5 games with a foot injury as Mahomes spreads him out after back-to-back first downs. It's just a 3-man rush, and that pass is caught at the 40-yard line by Sammy Watkins. So he gets right back into the action with a good run. Bad foot and all, takes it to the 20-yard line. J.J. Wilcox knocks him down, but there's a flag, and there may be more yardage tacked on here. Could be a horse collar. He got it from the back. Here's Hussey.
During the tackle, personal foul, horse collar tackle. Defense number 37. That penalty is half the distance to the goal. Automatic. First down.
And that's the former Cowboy, Wilcox. So they're in business, are the Chiefs.
So good to see Sammy Watkins back in action again after that foot injury. And he was making some magical plays in practice the other day. We got a chance to see him. Maybe this softer field helps him. But you've got to also begin to think that Darius Leonard sometimes can get fooled in zone coverages. That time jumped Travis Kelce in front of him and let the crosser in behind.
1st and goal at the 10-yard line. Damian Williams looking for space, cuts it back, still on his feet, into the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City. Damian Williams, and he has come on. After they let Kareem Hunt go, he broke a tackle by Anthony Walker, and just like that, the Chiefs are on the board.
The Colts love this look where they put those 2 defensive tackles in there, but watch what Morse and Irving do here. They're going to have those down blocks, and it was the athleticism of Williams in the open field that got him in. So the mastery of the Kansas City Chiefs on their opening 2 drives continues. They have buried teams in the first quarter.
5 plays, 90 yards. Butker's kick is good. Took 3 minutes, 10-yard run. Mahomes was 3 for 3 for 61 yards on a scintillating opening drive. 7-0 KC. Still light snow. Supposed to have it throughout the course of the game. Didn't bother Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs on the opening drive. 5 minutes into the game, they lead 7-0. And this kick will be returned by Pascal from the 4-yard line. And back out to the 26 he comes as we take a look at the Kansas City defense.
Chris Jones, Mississippi State.
Derek Nutty, Florida State.
Alan Bailey, University of Miami.
Justin Houston, Georgia.
Anthony Hitchens, Iowa.
Reggie Ragland, Alabama.
D. Ford, Auburn. Steve Nelson, Oregon State University.
Jordan Lucas, Penn State.
Daniel Sorensen, BYU.
Kendall Fuller, Virginia Tech.
The Kansas City defense, they've been in the crosshairs this year. 31st in yards allowed, second worst in the league. They were 27th against the rush, 31 against the pass, but got off to a good start today with Indianapolis going 3 and out. Marlon Mack is the running back, and the fake to him on play action. Good protection for Luck, but then it is batted at the line of scrimmage by Chris Jones. Big number 95, who had to come out of last year's wild card game against Tennessee with an injury and wants to finish this one on a high note today.
Well, Chris Jones has had a tremendous year this year, matched up against Quentin Nelson here. And this is that formation that the Colts like. They love having the jumbo formation, extra offensive lineman. Nelson held his own, but it was Jones just too big.
The 6'6" Jones. He had 4 blocks to lead the team during the regular season. Second down and 10. Fake to Mack. Luck dancing around. That's batted and incomplete. That was Justin Houston getting his hands on it. So Andrew Luck, back in 2012, the #1 overall draft choice out of Stanford, got off to a really good start in his career, but then you know the rest. Missed all of last season, shoulder injury, didn't even know if he could come back and play football. Got his passion back, 39 touchdowns, and of course he and Frank Reich have formed a match made in quarterback heaven. 3rd and 10. Luck stepping up, fires on the run. That's batted, and it is almost picked off. So all 3 passes were batted. Shavarius Ward is there on the defensive end, and that's another 3 and out. 4th down.
The protection's really been perfect all day. Costanzo on the outside is taking care of Houston. But then on the back end, they are not winning the battles down the field right now. We have just seen the young Shavarius Ward come up with a big play there on the outside, and he has been a replacement in the secondary.
Sanchez already with his second punt. This is angled toward the sideline. Hill bobbled, collects it, and gets tackled at the 30-yard line with 9.5 to go in the opening quarter. Chiefs 7, Colts nothing. Andy Reid, his 20th season as an NFL head coach. Chris was talking about this first 2 offensive drives, 16 touchdowns scored this season, 7.5 yards per play. Best in the NFL, and they looked like it. I mean, Mahomes was really nervous on that first drive, wasn't he?
Yeah, he looked scared to death.
Right. He's never played in snow, told us the opening day. A little light snow here, field in decent shape. He starts the second drive here with a fake to Williams, and he looks for him and then throws that one, and Williams makes a nice catch but can't go anywhere. He was turned around, and Anthony Walker was there to stop him after a short gain.
One of the things you'll see the Colts do a lot of in this game is have these 2 big defensive linemen right down front and center, and they try to sort of make you block them with those interior 3 and create one-on-one pass rush matchups on the outside against the tackles. But unfortunately, so far, not much of a pass rush at all.
Kelsey comes into the near slot, fake to Williams, and the pass out here is incomplete, intended for Chris Conley. Pierre Desir, who really had a nice day last week in Houston, took care of DeAndre Hopkins covering. 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, and for Mahomes, you just get the feeling that after that 3 interception game against the Rams in week 11, that it got his attention and that he really started focusing in on being safe with the ball. Even that throw there, lower half of the body. Let's not get any tip balls out here for interceptions in this rough weather.
Hey, Mike Larry.
3rd and 6. Move Hill to the right side. Mahomes rolling away, gets out of the pocket, across his body. What else is new? Tyreek Hill makes the catch. We've seen it all year long. 1st down. gain of 10.
I love watching this kid play. Just going to roll the right, escape pressure. How in the world was he even looking back in there for Tyreek Hill? Just game after game, we see these kinds of MVP type throws. I mean, you just simply have to say it. And it doesn't look like anything bothers him. When you talk to the Chiefs, they all talk about it like nothing seems to faze him. And what about the playoff? Believe me, it won't.
The fake here, good protection, fires, and that's incomplete. Intended for Tyreek Hill. Just missed. And it's second down and 10. Of course, he grew up in a family where his dad was a major league pitcher for 11 years, so he's been around a few clubhouses.
Yeah, he threw a strike on that one, too, that Hill just unable to come up with. It was a great route by Hill on the outside against Desir, and obviously got to play the speed right on that cut. Can't do much better than that with the throw.
And there is Pat Mahomes on the right, 11 years in the major, started his career with the Minnesota Twins, also the Red Sox, pitched with the Mets in the '99 playoffs. Second and 10, and the fake, and that's off the fingertips of Sammy Watkins, and incomplete. Sammy says, that's me, my fault. Third and 10.
Watch how long Mahomes sits on this play fake. I mean, you really, as a linebacker, that's 1,037, 1,038, right? I mean, you got to come up and play the run at that point. One more time, 2 in a row, right through the hands of his receivers.
8 minutes left in the opening quarter. Chiefs scoring on the opening drive. 3rd and 10. Flag down, and the pass is incomplete, but that was a free play in all likelihood. Quincy Wilson covering DeMarcus Robinson. It was 3rd and 10.
Offside. Defense. Number 97. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Al-Qadim Muhammad. So that was a free play, and it makes it 3rd down and 5 now.
Yeah, and they also caught the Colts in one of their favorites, this slot blitz coming off the edge. Did it 14 times in the game last week. But for Mahomes, here he is. It's 3rd down and 10. All the pressure of a playoff game. He's going to the hard count. He's doing the little things that you would expect from a veteran quarterback.
He's 23 years old. He empties the backfield on a 3rd down and 5. In the pocket, starts to run, and can he get there? Doesn't look like he does. They'll spot it at the 47, and they're going to be a yard shy of the 1st down. Of course, the crowd wants Reed to go for it. Wouldn't be surprised if he did on 4th down and 1. And they send a fullback into the game. That's Sherman.
Well, you've got probably the most athletic of quarterbacks back there in the backfield. So you have to have some kind of spy or something defensively to take care of the middle of the field.
Damian Williams is the running back. Kelsey goes to the left side. Sherman is the fullback. They have an extra lineman in there too. 1st down and a lot more. Damian Williams gets to the 36-yard line. So no surprise that Andy Reid goes for it. Pays off 1st down at the 37.
Colts got beat on a stunt that time. They tried to stunt inside and run the linebackers this way, and it just left a gaping hole in there. There simply wasn't anybody left. Sit there and watch Mitchell Schwartz. He didn't know what to do. He was well down the field, and it was Williams trying to get him to go block somebody.
Damian Williams is a good story. They toss it back here to Hill. Around the corner, he goes! Tyreek Hill to the end zone. Touchdown. 36 yards for a guy who can score anytime from any place on the field.
Not only is it going to be a reverse, it's going to be a lead reverse. So they're going to bring Harris around with him to take care of the one guy out there that still had a shot at Hill. And then after that, we have seen this movie too many times before. You get him running towards the goal line, good luck.
Starts out as a horror flick for the Colts. 2 drives, 2 scores. Butler for the extra point. That's good. And we've played 8.5 minutes in this divisional playoff game, and the Kansas City Chiefs are out front 14-0 at Arrowhead.
One of the things you have to worry about with Tyreek Hill when he's here is running this way. Now you got to worry about him running that way too. It really doesn't matter which way that speedster starts running. It is a boatload, and so far the Colts look stunned. There are guys not even in position to make plays down the field. Right now, the biggest thing that we need to see out of Andrew Luck is a drive to keep this a ball game.
Well, last week it was the Colts that got off to a hot start, scoring on their first 2 drives at Houston. Never looked back, won the game 21-7. Have the reverse today. This will be the Colts' 3rd drive. First 2 have been 3 and out. Returnable kick, short kick. And it's run back and smothered at the 23-yard line is Jordan Wilkins. So Andrew Luck has started the game 0 for 4. Colts have run 6 plays, gained 7 yards. Trying to get the running game going, and they do here with a nice run through the middle by Marlon Mack in his 2nd year out of South Florida. Gain of 7. So Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. You know, we talked about Reich and Luck as a match made in heaven, but what about Reid and Mahomes?
It's been amazing, and the great thing about the Kansas City offense is they hit you from so many different directions. I mean, you think, okay, we're going to take away the deep game, and they hit you with a reverse for a touchdown. I mean, they have just sort of zigged when everybody is zagged all season long.
2nd and 4. Play clock down to 1. Keep it on the ground again, give it to Mack. He takes it out to the 32-yard line. D Ford in on the tackle there. 3rd down and 1.
Right now the Chiefs are catching them around the edge. So what Frank Reich would like to do is get these big offensive linemen going down the field. But Ford is coming so fast around the edge. As Mack sort of delays and waits on that block to take place, they're getting caught.
Bob Sutton, the defensive coordinator for Kansas City. Meanwhile, Luck spreads them out here on a 3rd and short 2. Dancing and escaping, and can he get away? Yes, but out of bounds and banged out of bounds. Looks around for a flag. Justin Houston makes the tackle. There is no flag, and that is a 3rd consecutive 3 and out.
Al, the protection has been good. They're just playing man-to-man coverage down the field, and Luck had nowhere to go with his ball. They tried to bring their back, Naheem Hines, in there to run against the linebacker. He couldn't get open. This is almost stunning, as well as the Kansas City Chiefs have played on defense, because we've seen all the numbers about what a tough year it's been for them.
They locked on in the secondary, and also that Houston hit was pretty close to drawing a flag. And you have a fair catch called for at the 26-yard line here by Tyreek Hill. 4:12 left in the quarter, 14-0 Kansas City. That Colt defense led by Darius Leonard, a rookie, 111 tackles, most in the NFL. First rookie to lead the league since Patrick Willis of the Niners did it in 07. This is a kid who grew up in, along with his 7 sacks, 4 forced fumbles. Grew up in South Carolina. He was dying to go to Clemson, but they passed on him. He went to South Carolina State.
Would have played in a couple of championship games if he had gotten there, but he has been simply sensational all season long. No question the energy of this Colt defense.
Mahomes starts this drive with a pass that is knocked away, and that's Kenny Moore again coming in on the blitz, who's able to bat it. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, there's that slot blitz one more time, and when they get in trouble or they get behind, they'll end up bringing him on the blitz, and that time able to get his hands on the football, because now you want to come in, you want to play a zone defense, you want to keep everything in front of you, but keeping everything in front of them, that hasn't worked either.
Makes this team easier said than done. Especially when you've got number 10 coming down the pipe. Mahomes out of the pocket. Throws a little dart to Kelsey. That's a first down at the 40-yard line. Those fastballs, curves, sliders, you name it, change-ups, everything.
I mean, he's just sophisticated with what he does, too. When he takes off the run, look at his eyes. He's downfield. He's going to look, but he knew exactly where he was going to go the whole time. He does the pump fake to slide the zone defense that way and get Kelsey open. He's a brilliant young player. He really is.
6 out of 10 with a couple of drops, 89 yards so far. The Chiefs have already gained 154 yards. Williams fires downfield and a little low. Intended there for Tyreek Hill.
Well, let's take a look at the start so far by Darius Leonard. And this is what happens to you in a zone defense. You hit a little out route there to Kelsey. So what do? The next time he does it, I'm going to jump that. Here comes the crosser in behind. And if he has an issue, that is one in coverage. And now here he is trying to stop this touchdown, but really no match whatsoever for Andrew Wiley down the field. So not a great start for a great player.
2nd and 10, fake the end around, fires, caught, and that's Kelsey again. 103 catches, that was a franchise record, and the one vulnerability on that Colt defense would be giving up a lot of passes to tight ends.
Well, even when you're playing man coverage against them, you forget how fast this big guy is. He has the ability to get open on those deep crossing routes that usually are reserved for wide receivers, and then the ability to take a hit like that from J.J. Wilcox, all-pro again this season, along with his brother out of Cincinnati, and he has been sensational every year he's put on a Chiefs uniform.
Big Bro will be in action tomorrow for Philadelphia against New Orleans, and meanwhile now you have a timeout taken by Kansas City, and we'll be back to Arrowhead in 30 seconds. Kansas City #1 in the league in offense, both in yards and in points, in good measure thanks to a couple of guys right there. 103 catches, 10 touchdowns for Kelsey. Hill 1,479 yards. Each with over 1,300 receiving yards, 10 TDs in one season. After the timeout, they give it to Hill. Stays in bounds around the corner and slides to a stop after a gain of about 7.
Well, we've seen them attacking with the crossing routes, but I think the hardest part about Kansas City's offense is what you just saw right there, and that is the horizontal stretch that Andy Reid can put on you. So everybody's scared to death of getting beat over the top by this football team, but then you put that horizontal stretch on them and you're trying to put 11 players all over this massive area to try and defend, and it's just almost impossible to do.
2nd and 3, give it to Williams. And he stopped a little short of the first down. So they go east-west, they go north-south, they go southwest to northeast.
They're on every airline there is.
Right. And there is the man trying to figure out how to stop it, Matt Eberflus, in his first year as the defensive coordinator.
Well, he knew what he was up against in this one, no question about it. But I've got to think that he thought at least it would be a bit of a shootout from his offense. And so far his defense has been on the field the entire quarter because the offense really can't get out of their own way.
Chiefs have 9 first downs and the Colts have none. Holmes buying time, looking, stays on his feet, then throws, and then it's incomplete. It's Demetrius Harris, the #2 tight end, on the sideline. So it's 4th down. They went for it on 4th and 1 earlier. That was paid off with a touchdown. You got Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator, on the left. Andy Reid going over that mammoth play sheet.
When Mahomes starts rolling out, you just kind of hold your breath. You know something's about to happen. And that time he even fooled Harris, who stepped out of bounds too early. But here we go. It was such a big hold the last time. Maybe they just go right back at it.
Keep it on the ground. Pick it up again. Spinning his way for a first down. To the 31-yard line goes Damian Williams. And boy, they haven't missed anything in that ground game since Kareem Hunt, who was among the league leaders in rushing, was let go.
Well, one of the concerns you had going into the game was that these guards may not be able to hold up against the Colts, but boy, it has been no problem so far. Andrew Wiley doing a nice job in there. He replaced Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, the right guard position. Cameron Irving back in now at the left guard.
And Darrell Williams, a rookie out of LSU, is the running back. Give it to him, and he takes it to the 29-yard line. He's tackled there by Kenny Moore. Clock down to a half minute left in the opening frame.
Pretty impressive play by Kenny Moore. We see him coming off the corner. He's probably their best cover guy on the outside. That slot blitz that he does, he's just one of those guys that has been overachieving his entire life. Not that big a guy, but he is a hitter.
So in the first quarter, Kansas City gained 185 yards, and the Colts gained 12. And that is the end of the first quarter at Arrowhead Stadium. With the score, Kansas City 14, Indianapolis nothing. And this divisional playoff game continues after these messages. One-sided first quarter, 185 yards to 12. Kansas City, another good drive going here. This will be the 10th play of the drive. It is second down and 8 from the 29-yard line, and Mahomes will fire, and that's a little bit low. Inside the 5 again, Tyreek Hill was his target. Third down.
I don't know exactly what happened. That was a Scroogey coming out of there. That one got away just a little bit. Let's take a look at this motion. He kind of flips it out to the side a little bit. And then let's see what happens to this ball, because it definitely got away from him. Even saw Kelsey in an interview today talking about how he'll flutter one out there every once in a while, but whatever it's doing, it's coming fast.
Third and 8. Mahomes to the left side. Winds up hitting Kelsey, and he'll pick up the blocking necessary to move the chains again before he's tackled by J.J. Wilcox.
Well, the eye candy gets him again, right? You have the fastest guy in football, and Tyreek Hill's going to come in and loop back around, and Mahomes is going to look at him, and then what do? You go screen away, and there's really almost no way whenever you have Hill doing all that you don't pay some attention to him. Nice job with that block in the backfield to make that an easier throw too. Andy Reid in the screen game, pretty famous.
Eric Fisher, key block there. First down now at the 19-yard line. And look out, and this time they get to him. They get to him for the sack here. Jabal Sheard is able to put him down. So it's the first time they get to Mahomes in this game. And that'll be a sack of 9 yards to make it second down and 19.
Again, because those defensive tackles are playing so tight, it means one-on-one for those tackles outside. This time Mitchell Schwartz, who's an all-pro, got beat inside. But Jabal Sheard, probably their best player on defense.
Sheard's been around a long time with the Patriots, 8th in the league. Running back here is Darrell Williams, the LSU rookie, on 2nd and 17. You got action up front, and you got the flag stopping the play. The crowd wanted a free play, but the official came in and stopped the play.
Well, there was contact when he jumped across.
Encroachment. Defense. The nose guard. 5-yard penalty. Second down. Number 92.
Called it on Margus Hunt.
Just so impressed with the way that Mahomes goes with this hard count. He's not snapping his hands or his head to draw a penalty on himself, but we have already seen multiple times this Colts defense jumping around.
Uses his voice very well. Eric Berry called him a ventriloquist. 2nd and 12. And Mahomes again under pressure, and he's able to throw that one away. It looked like left-handed as Danico Autry got in there. Of course, he has completed left-handed passes this season. Just wanted to get rid of that one. Third down, it comes up holding that knee and flexing it, and it's a little scary sign for this crowd of 75,000.
There's only one story now. What happened to this knee? Oh, he is really limping.
So he got rid of it. Going to be 3rd down and 12. He's going to stay in. Obviously in some discomfort. Backs up out of the gun, looking pretty good here. And fires a little dart out into the flat where Damian Williams makes the catch, but it's 4th down. Kenny Moore is there, so he comes limping off the field.
He looked okay with the play, though, didn't he? He kind of took off and made some kind of a play out of it, so he probably won't even go talk to the doctor if I know him.
But the doctor will go and talk to him, I'll bet you that.
Correct, and then Andy Reid will be talking to the doctor.
Harrison Butker now, 39-yard field goal attempt. He set a record most points in the first 2 years in the league by anybody. The place kicker, of course, he's had a lot of chances to kick extra points and a few field goals this year as well. And that one's good from 39. So 12-13 to go in the half. Chiefs extend their lead, 17-0. Butker's kick, and this time it bounds through the end zone. So Andrew Luck didn't even know he was going to play this year. After that shoulder surgery, 59 completions beyond the first down sticks. That's the most. Red zone, 32 second most, topped only by Mahomes, who had 35. 12 TD passes in the 4th quarter. Might need a couple today. Second most in the league to Matt Ryan.
You know, this Chiefs defense hasn't been very good this year, but they have been pretty good at home. And obviously this crowd is a major asset for that.
Yeah, giving up about half as many points per game as they did on the road.
Wow.
And that defense right now looking very, very sharp as Derek Nottie, the nose tackle, the rookie out of Florida State, picked in the 3rd round, takes down Marlon Mack for a loss of 6.
Wow. I mean, we're seeing Derek Nottie. They're trying to get Glowinski to get a reach over here to Nottie, and Nottie was having none of it. He blew right past that reach block and made another play. This has been absolutely the best I've seen the Kansas City Chiefs defense play in a game this year.
Colts have run 10 plays, gained 6 yards, but a lot more here as T.Y. Hilton finally gets into the action up to the 30-yard line. He's had a tremendous year. Got to give him a lot of credit. He's battled through injuries, that ankle bothering him, hasn't practiced much of late, but he had 5 catches, 85 yards last week against Houston. Showed up in a clown mask. That got everybody loose. Tremendous season, 4-time Pro Bowler.
And don't forget, in that miraculous comeback in 2013, it was T.Y. Hilton with over 200 yards receiving. They have to get him going.
3rd and 6. Indianapolis looking for its first down. And Luck throws, and that's caught, but they still won't get it as Ebron gets taken down the minute he catches it. He's swarmed over by that Kansas City defense. And it's going to be 4th down and 1.
Really surprised Ebron hooked that thing up that quickly. Wasn't any kind of a hot read or anything like that. You really have to get down to the sticks on that play.
Tyreek Hill is back. Roberto Sanchez already punting for the 4th time in the game. Line drive kick. Hill backing up. He'll have a run back from the 16-yard line. He gets around the corner, look out, but he doesn't. That's a great open field tackle made at the 16-yard line by Nate Hairston. Early 2nd quarter, 17-0 home team. So far, so good for the home squad as they lead 17-0 in the pass out of the flat. It's Hill taken down at the line of scrimmage. So Patrick Mahomes, he was thinking about coming out of Texas Tech early, so you can petition the NFL advisory board made up of GMs and scouts and personnel people. They projected him as a 3rd round pick, which tells me one thing: I'm not taking any stock picks from the NFL advisory board. What about you?
Yeah, 4 out of the 6 guys told him likely to be in the 3rd round. He said, I'll take my chances.
Yep. He winds up going number 10 in the 1st round. 2nd quarterback chosen after Mitch Trubisky. And on the ground this time, it's Damian Williams out to the 23-yard line.
Well, here's a bit of the day so far for Patrick Mahomes, and this vision of his and ability to move and find people that he's not even looking at. He just is looking one way, and sometimes he won't look when he throws it. We've seen that earlier this season as well. But when he rolls to his right, obviously very exciting. But Al, where he's had the most success this year is rolling to his left. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And it looks like his shoulder can come out of the socket to make some of the throws he's made.
Meanwhile, his knee looks fine after he came out a little gimpy on the last series. Didn't do much work. And again, coming across that line, and they blow the play dead because that was unimpeded to the quarterback. Of course, the Colts are going to say they were drawn off. And John Hussey will have the final word.
Offside. Unimpeded to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
First down because it was 3rd down and 4.
Well, they call him Kermit the Frog, and that voice is drawing the Colts off time after time. Look how intense he is with that voice inflection, and this has just been a nightmarish start for the Colts on defense. Even when they get them to 3rd down, they're just gifting those kinds of plays, and now they've got to start all over again.
It was Sheard who was offside that time. That's 5 penalties on Indianapolis, 1 on Kansas City. Now you've got this.
Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Eric Fisher. We go to Michelle.
Chris, you were talking about Mahomes making the no-look passes, using all those delivery angles. Travis Kelce said you can't ever get caught thinking about something else, like where you're going to go after the catch or where other players are going to be on the field. Kelce told me concentration and focus are at a premium until the play is over, because Mahomes is going to get the ball to the receiver any way he can.
And we have seen that time and time again all season long. The guy we call the presumptive MVP, and Drew Brees is going to be in that race as well. But we think it goes to Mahomes as Hill makes the catch. And there's a flag that comes in from the secondary. Play stopped at the 26-yard line, and Hill loses his shoe.
I still wouldn't want to race him.
Holding. Offense, number 72. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Well, it's back-to-back penalties on the guy who was the overall #1 pick in the draft back in 2013 out of Central Michigan. That was the year after Andrew Luck was selected #1.
Yeah, and really it was a bit of a tough go for him, but Eric Fisher made the Pro Bowl this year, and I think that'll take all the pressure off of him for some of that. Here he is coming out here trying to make this block. Oh boy, not too much of a hold.
So it's 1st and 25 from the 14-yard line. And going to bottle up Williams just about at the line of scrimmage.
You know, if as one-sided as this game has been, if they can hold them here, force a punt, and score 1 touchdown, all of a sudden you start feeling a little bit better, and some of those ghosts of Christmas past start coming back to haunt the people in this crowd.
Oh yeah, they know it all too well, including last year in the wild card game when they led Tennessee 21-3 and lost the game 22-21. Sure, the Chiefs fans are saying thanks for the memories. 2nd and 24. Mahomes, little low throw there, but Williams makes the catch and backs up. And Colts corral him at the 19, setting up 3rd down and a mile.
You know, it was interesting talking to Frank Reich last night about this very situation. He knew how explosive the Colts were as well. I mean, the Chiefs were as well. And he said, you know, I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to just drop back and throw the ball. I know we have a strength running the football that has been their weakness, trying to stop the run during the course of this season. So I'm not going to panic if something like that were to happen.
3rd and 20. Mahomes all day. Throws, and that is incomplete, intended for Kelce. So they hold him. Geathers covering on the play. And with 6 minutes to go in the half, it's a 4th down.
Well, we are seeing some stunts out of this Colts defensive line. Watch all this stuff coming here, and it actually has worked a little bit. That's how they've been getting some of their pressure, but that time nowhere close, and almost gave Mahomes enough time to work that one down the field. Just missed the throw.
Dustin Colquitt, his first punt of the game. And it is blocked, and that is exactly what the Colts needed because they're going to wind up with a touchdown. Pascal covers it in the end zone. Najee Good blocked it. Recovered by Pascal in the end zone. And if there's anything that a doctor ever ordered for that man's team, that was it.
Wow, that is some mistake. You'll see the C's just part here for Najee Good as he comes ripping straight up the middle, and nobody really puts a finger on him. And for the Chiefs special teams unit, that is the rarest of all mistakes. They typically are the best in the league.
Adam Vinatieri for the point after. Zach Pascal recovered for the touchdown. The extra point is good. That's Colquitt's first blocked punt in 5 years. Dave Tobe, the special teams coach. 17-7. Kansas City is on top as the Colts get back into the game despite the fact they haven't picked up a single first down in the first half. And that kick will bounce through the end zone. And back we go to the block.
You know, Al, sometimes it's a matter of timing. You think your partner here is going to make the block, Darrell Williams, so Charcandrick West ends up seeing that, and then he comes off, but they both come off at the same time and leave a free path for Najee Good. That was some recovery on the backside of that as well by Pascal. And Luck knows he's in a game again.
Mahomes has started 12 of 21 for 126 yards. Fires over the middle. Wide open is Kelsey. And he'll take the ball into Colts territory. So they answer that block kick with a big gain over the middle. Geathers makes the stop. That's a gain of 31.
You can see what the motion does defensively to these guys right here. Watch all this as Tyreek Hill goes back and forth, and they're just unsettled and lose track of where Kelsey was on the play. And that has been the issue with them, is how do you play the run and also play that play action with Kelsey coming in from behind, and he is lighting him up right now.
He's already caught 5 for 86 yards. What a catch. That is Sammy Watkins. He can make those one-handed catches. You saw him in practice the other day. Sammy Watkins. You wish you could have played with those gloves, huh?
I wish I could have played with those hands, honestly. That was amazing. Looked like this thing might end up being tipped for an interception, and it just sticks. We did see him do it in practice the other day, and it was as good as that one, maybe even better than that one. So, and when you put Sammy Watkins with this group of receivers, look out.
2nd down and 5. 4.5 left in the half. And it's fired over the middle to Hill. And Tyreek Hill will move the chains again to the 25-yard line. And the Kansas City Chiefs have piled up 14 first downs to none for the Colts.
Well, Mahomes just doing such a great job of calmly reading these plays. He's just going to take a look right here. All right, you want to move with my running back? No problem. There's a slant. There you go. And he just seems so under control, a little three-quarter motion out there like he's playing in the backyard.
26. Nice hole opens up there, and a gain of about 7 yards for Damian Williams. Stopped by Geathers. 2nd and 3.
You know, this is the way they kill you, though, sometimes. Here you get a blocked punt, you get a touchdown, you're thinking, we're back in the game, let's go make a stop, and they go right back down the field on you again. You know, all the talk had been about all the losses in the playoffs, and most people gave the same answer. That was before Patrick Mahomes.
2nd and 3. Williams again. can go nowhere. Stuff. It's Autry. Nico Autry making the stop. Clock going down to a little more than 3, and Williams will come hobbling off.
Yeah, he definitely got clipped a little bit on the back of that ankle.
Maybe Pat Mahomes. We asked the Kansas City quarterback. He wants to be Patrick. He said, "My dad is Pat."
So did Mama.
Right.
She made it very clear to us.
3rd down and 6.
Hey, we're gonna Liz. Color. Right.
Mahomes fires over the middle. That's caught, and lunging and getting the 1st down is Travis Kelce. He's been unstoppable. Kenny Moore with the tackle that gives them another 1st down as the clock is under 2.5.
Well, there's almost no way to sit there on Travis Kelce when Tyreek Hill is flying by him at about 90 miles an hour. It gets your attention, but it has been Kelce underneath in these zones that has really just done the greatest part of the damage out here today.
And they let the clock roll down to 2 minutes. So we're at the 2-minute warning at Arrowhead Stadium. Kansas City 17, Indianapolis 7. All right, everything's in order now. The ball is at the 15-yard line as Mahomes throws underneath. It's caught by Williams, and there is Leonard to stop him a yard short of the 1st down, but it'll be 2nd down and 1. And the Colts are going to take a timeout.
Short timeout.
Boy, it's almost like now, if you're Frank Reich, you just have to have a break. I mean, what's happened so far in this game is that they just haven't had that big moment, that big play on defense. This is a team that's been pretty good down here in the red zone. They do give up some yards between the 20s, but generally they've been able to make a stand down here. I don't think they know what to defend right now. You know, on defense, if you can run the ball the way they've been running it, you hit the screen pass, you're hitting the ball to your tight end, and you're making some plays. They haven't hit one over the top of this defense yet, but they've hit a whole bunch of them underneath those safeties.
Well, that's a Kansas City offense. Scored 26 or more points in every game this season. That's never happened in the NFL. A little shovel pass here. And to the 1-yard line goes Sammy Watkins to make it a 1st and goal. And again, the Colts are calling a timeout, and we go to Michelle.
Well, Andy Reid was not happy with his fans, and he told them so. There were some snowballs being thrown out of the stands here on the near side left end of the field, and he saw that NFL security was talking to the officials. He went down there and indicated to the fans, be smart, use your heads. NFL officials have said they're not going to make an announcement about this 1st infraction, if you will. They're going to let in-stadium security handle it. But if there's another, you know, there it is. He's pointing to his head. Yep. If there's another incident, they are going to make an announcement on the field that a penalty could be incurred.
There was unequivocal video evidence right there of one perpetrator.
Yeah. We saw that happen in the Giants game when one of the guys on the sideline got really hurt, got tagged with one of those ice balls.
1st and goal to give it to Watkins around the right side, and he cannot go anywhere. George Odom runs him out of bounds. So it's 2nd down and goal. And the Colts
3rd and final charge timeout. Indianapolis.
Going to take another timeout?
It'll be a 30-second timeout.
You know what's so interesting about this Chiefs offense? They've had 18 quarters now this season with 2 touchdowns. To put that in some perspective, there are 26 teams that have only had 10 or fewer. So this is an offense that is really doing something pretty magical.
Andy Reid going over that play sheet and calling his 42nd play. 2nd down and goal. Holmes. And tries to get in, and I believe he did as the official falls back into the snowbank. They're going to wait for the call here. Crowd thinks it's a touchdown. It is. So all kinds of action going on over there, but Mahomes is able to get to the pylon. Check it out again.
I think he gets in, doesn't he? Looks like a touchdown to me. No question about it. And it was so much fun talking to Patrick about his dad playing in the playoffs and the World Series in baseball and having a chance to match that, and how his dad fed off the pressure and the crowd getting after him and all that stuff. And he just wanted from an early age the opportunity to do the same thing, and he is changing the conversation here in Kansas City.
Well, 274 yards of offense for these guys. They set up a bunch of fireworks and stuff. That's why you've got all of the smoke. And it's hanging in the stadium as well as Butker bangs it through. And the Kansas City Chiefs come back after the blocked punt. Go down the field, 10 plays, 75 yards, and are up by 17. Back at Arrowhead Stadium. Andrew Luck might feel like that at this point. Man, oh man, what a half it's been for the Kansas City Chiefs. Colts got a touchdown on the blocked punt. Apart from that, nada.
Yeah, we got more blocked punts and first downs.
Yeah, that's right. So the Colts will get the ball. They used all of their timeouts on defense, so they have none, and they'll start the drive from the 25-yard line. So the statistics, you look at these statistics, you think the score would be about 75-0. 188 passing yards to 12, 274 to 21, 17 first downs to none. Of course, the time of possession tilted, everything tilted toward Kansas City.
Well, you have to go here. This has to be a drive. T.Y. Hilton, Eric Ebron, those guys have to get something going.
Luck is 2 out of 6 for 15 yards. So they start with the rookie Hines in the backfield, and Luck fires over the middle and completes that one. And that's their first down as Eric Ebron makes the catch out to the 46-yard line, and they go no huddle after a gain of 21. Luck to the outside he goes, and that time that is hauled in along the sideline by Dontrell Inman, who's really done a nice job picking him up in midseason. Steven Nelson wrestles into the ground, and another first down.
I think they need to stay in no huddle, but this Dontrell Inman, I tell you what, he ran a couple of routes last week, one for a touchdown that was stunning.
Used to play with the Chargers, under a minute now. Luck, good protection. This one is shot out here to Ebron again. Eric's trying to get out of bounds, and he does to stop the clock with 38 seconds.
Well, that was really impressive, that effort to get that ball out of bounds. He was a good 7 or 8 yards inside the number when he caught that thing, knew exactly what he was trying to do and got it accomplished. He made 2 or 3 miss to get out of bounds.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
It's always easiest, especially with this split safety look they have going right now, to try and split them down the middle and see if your big tight end can just go up and make a play.
Luck again to the sideline. That'll be caught. Trying to get out of bounds is Chester Rogers, and he does not. His forward progress stops him, so the clock keeps on rolling, but that will be a first down. Spot the ball at the 27-yard line. 24, 23, and ticking down. They don't have any timeouts. Luck to the sideline again. That's caught, and this time it's Inman getting out of bounds. So a great looking drive after they had done nothing throughout the half. The ball is at the 14-yard line with 15 seconds.
I'm always amazed at how the no-huddle offense sometimes can wake up a football team. There's Inman on the outside. See if he gives a little shimmy. No, just a speed out there. But for Andrew Luck, it's almost like there's an adrenaline flow happening with this drive. You have to take a few shots, and Ebron has been the target down here. He has great releases lined up just to the left of Luck now.
Whole offense is adrenalized. Luck on first down, stepping away from trouble, seeking the sideline, and he will get out of bounds, and that stops the clock with 8 seconds. And now, what are you down to? You're down to probably one more play, and if you don't pick it up, get the touchdown, you go for the field goal. Maybe.
Yeah, a lot of attention in there on Ebron this time. They were going to take him out of the game. But right now, maybe after some of the catches we've seen Inman make, you give him a shot. He has some locked-in hands. Out to your right.
2nd and 1, but more importantly, 8 seconds. Mo Ali Cox is wide to the left.
Cannot take a sack.
And he looks for Ali Cox, and the pass is incomplete with 3 seconds. Ali Cox is 6'5" and 267. They put the big tight end in there. And now with 3 seconds, they'll bring out Vinatieri and company.
Took a shot at the former basketball player on the outside from VCU. Really never able to get up and even try and make a play on that one. But not all bad. The one thing you had to do is come out of this drive with some points. So at least down 2 touchdowns. This offense has plenty of firepower, maybe in the no huddle in the second half, to mount a comeback.
Adam Vinatieri at the age of 46. Oh, and he hits the upright. Of all things. Wow, down the field they go, trying to cut it to a 2-possession lead. And folks, we have seen this before.
Wow.
Like 6 days ago.
That wasn't a doink, that was a dong.
Ooh. 24-7 at the half. Al Michaels with Chris Collinsworth and Michelle Tafoya. And our whole Sunday night gang on this late Saturday afternoon, just past sunset in KCMO. Kansas City will get the ball. Tremont Smith back to return it. Done a nice job this year. Rookie out of Central Arkansas. Rigoberto Sanchez to kick off. 3rd quarter is underway. Smith, who is very fast, had a 97-yard run back in New England this year, but not this time. That is Moore making the tackle, Corey Moore, and we go to Michelle.
Well, I just spoke with Frank Reich, and he told me we gave the Chiefs too much in that first half. He was referring to 5 penalties that gave up so much yardage, but he did say the no huddle they ran late in the half gave his offense confidence. They had tried to get to it earlier, but couldn't get a first down. Look for more of that here in the second half, Al.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Andy Reid, last year his team was up 21-3 at halftime to Tennessee and wound up losing the game. Try to hold on tonight, win their first playoff game in a quarter of a century at home as Watkins makes the catch.
Well, we came in talking about the big 3, and the big 3 have delivered in a big way. It all started early in this one with Tyreek Hill on the reverse. Kelsey out front with a big block, but that was just too easy to set the tone early, and then it was Kelsey taking over. A couple of short passes underneath, then working the seams, and then the star of the first half, I think no question about it, Patrick Mahomes showed everybody why he is that MVP candidate.
2nd down and inches. And they pick up a first down here to the 29-yard line. Goes Damian Williams, who's now carried the ball 10 times for 48 yards.
And Al, I want to make a point about Mahomes here. This is a young man. We always show the highlight plays, right? Scrambling around, the no-look passes, all that stuff. He's winning from the pocket tonight. He's 15 for 22, 171 yards. He was the best all season from a clean pocket, and once again, he's delivering in the pocket.
2:04 now for Mahomes, 19 of 28. Deep drop, good protection. Deep downfield into traffic and incomplete. Intended for Hill. He has a few words with J.J. Wilcox covering on the play. in the second down. It's so funny, Chris, you mentioned, you know, what he's done out of the pocket. Everybody's always saying, well, you got to keep him in the pocket. Well, they keep it in the pocket.
You can't do anything. I mean, then you say you take away the deep pass. Well, they're the best at those short underneath passes. They're the best at the screen passes. So, and he's pretty good when he takes off and runs. And the other part of this tonight, Al, is he is just standing back there. The pass rush has really not been enough of a factor to impact this young man.
Plenty of time. 2nd and 10. Inside handoff goes to Williams here, and he will pick up the first down before he winds up in the middle of the Chief bench. Run out of bounds by Kenny Moore.
All right, so we showed you some of the RPO passes. This time what happens? All right, let's just go ahead and sit on the backside of this thing. So we're just going to sit on the backside and just never able to get there on the front side of the run.
Leonard caught in that traffic jam. The Chiefs have picked up their 20th first down of the game. Through the middle, nothing happening there for Damian Williams, their workhorse back ever since they let Kareem Hunt go after the video surfaced. Thought that the Chiefs running game might pay a big price, but that has not been the case.
Denico Autry's been battling a shoulder injury throughout the course of the last few weeks, and he is pounding away in there trying to get something going on this defense.
Hey, Liz. Hey, color. Wait.
On 2nd and 9. Quick toss, and that one is caught there by Garrett Dieter. His first catch. Rookie out of Alabama, a free agent. So they put another guy into the mix for an 11-yard gain in the first down.
Yeah, that's all they need, right? One more receiving threat on the outside. But it has been interesting to watch and listen to Patrick Mahomes at the line of scrimmage. He is clearly dictating this game based on what the Colts are doing on the defensive side. He's getting in and out of plays. Obviously, that was a question for a young player. Could he do all that Alex Smith did? Andy Reid said, absolutely. It's been stunning.
Lost the ball here. And Darrell Williams that time on the attempted handoff. But Mahomes is able to recover it. That'll be a loss back there of, call it 8 yards.
Yep, that elbow dropped down right on top of the ball. But now for the Colts, here's your shot, right? You live for a mistake. It's the reason you play these zone defenses, because you've got a 2nd and 15. Now you have an opportunity to get the Chiefs off the field. They have to make and take advantage of this.
2nd down, 17 to go. Mahomes under pressure, steps away from it, sidearms it to Kelsey, and picks up 16 of the necessary 17 to make it 3rd down and 1. There he goes again. Wow.
Oh, come on, man. This game's not this easy. Watch Kelsey. He's going to come in here and then see his quarterback react, and then he reacts over the top. These guys have been doing this all season long, but again, the lack of pressure is just killing them. Watch this little 3-quarter flip. That's hard enough to do with a ping pong ball, much less a football.
How do you think this guy is at darts? 3rd and 1. And again, Darrell Williams. Can he get the first down? That extra thrust may have done it. Stop at the 39.
Was forward progress called? I saw the official come running in from the side. I think that's what they're discussing there.
Well, John Hussey is going to bring the chain gang out to see whether it's going to be a 1st down or a 4th down in inches, which I'm sure Andy Reid would go for. Frank Reich got that job. You recall when Josh McDaniels bailed out him and left him at the altar. What a job he's done. They're going to be that much short. And it's 4th down.
And of course, Andy Reid not even considering. So far, 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions. Why not?
Bringing an extra lineman in, Austin Reader comes in. So many different ways to pull this one off. They pulled it off a couple of times, running the ball. All Andrew Luck can do is pace. Matt Eberflus just hopes he's called the right defense here. On 4th down. Give it to Williams, and Leonard is there, but Williams with that forward progress looks as if he's picked up the first down, and he has. So Leonard right there, but couldn't stop him short of the line to gain, and it's a first down for Kansas City.
Leonard had him. You had Irving pulling around the backside, and he goes right in the back door of this thing and should have made this stop. Had him. Just give credit to Williams. That was a fantastic run.
And Leonard, the guy who led the league in tackles, makes the tackle there, but can't save the first down.
Stay there, stay there. Come on. Come on, Eddie.
Watkins is the man in motion. Mahomes gets away from pressure, and that's incomplete. Intended for Damian Williams. 2nd and 10.
Marcus Hunt thought he had a sack on that one, and yet it is just this sort of little shoulder shimmy, get around him and get the football out.
And then both feet in the air as he throws.
I'm so impressed with what I'm hearing at the line of scrimmage. That time they messed the play up. The guy in motion shouldn't have been in motion, so he stopped him and he said, now you come. So he is, even when they're making mistakes, he's figuring out how to solve it.
2nd and 10, he fires one, and that's incomplete, intended for Watkins. Well, Andy Reid was talking about the fact they traded Alex Smith. All Smith did last year was lead the league in passer rating. And he said, you know, we had to wait a couple of weeks to see if we had to back up the offense. In other words, come back a little bit. He said never. They just kept on moving forward.
Well, he did get in at the end of his rookie year in a game against Denver, I believe it was. And they saw how much he was able to consume that week. And so then going into the OTAs, they weren't sure, but it didn't take long for him to figure out, we're fine. We're fine with this guy calling the plays.
3rd and 10. They jumped again. So you've got a free play here, and Mahomes tries to take advantage of it by throwing, and it's going to be picked off at the goal line, but it's not going to count by Pierre Desir because you've got an offside in all likelihood against Indy again. Oh, man.
Number 93. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And that's Jabal Sheard again.
Well, it's a great play by Mahomes to take a shot, but this is utterly ridiculous. It's one thing when you get caught one time in the first half. It's another thing when you're losing the football game because you can't stay on sides. I mean, this has been pretty bad.
Well, that was actually Marcus Hunt. Looked like he was the first guy off. So it's 3rd down and 5.
Hey, rip Lance. Rip Lance. Start him. Color. Wait.
Mahomes sliding to his left, throwing, and that's too deep and incomplete. So if they attempt a field goal here, it would be about 51 yards. Just a slight wind tonight, wind negligible, and the offense for the moment is going to stay out on the field, much to the delight of the Arrowhead crowd.
Well, you really don't have much to lose at this point. He probably has more fear of leaving them back on their own 40 with the field position.
Good point. So Kendrick West is in the backfield with Mahomes. Looking for 5 yards here, and he's going to get sacked. So they will get the ball at about the 40-yard line. As it turns out, to Nico Autry with the sack. So that Indy defense stiffens and they get the ball, but you have a flag down. A flag is down at the 48-yard line, coming out late. It's a post-possession foul. Something happened after the play. So the Colts are going to keep the ball. John Hussey tells us the rest.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 96.
Wow.
That penalty will be enforced. 15 yards. It is Indianapolis ball. first and 10.
Autry gets the sack and the flag. 8.5 remaining in the third. Kansas City 24, Indianapolis 7, and there is the penalty on Autry. After the penalty now, Indianapolis gets it back at the 23-yard line to start this drive. Luck starts with a pass, going to the ground to make the catch. There is Chester Rogers. We go to Michelle again. Michelle.
Well, at the end of the first half, we saw the Colts put together their best drive after not having a first down to that point. And Andy Reid saw it too, wants his defense to do a better job challenging in the secondary. Al.
All right, Michelle, 2nd down and 6 as they go no huddle to start this drive. There's the fake. Pass is caught. First down. Dontrell Inman gets it out to the 37-yard line.
A little hard play action there, and there's the RPO the other way. So this pace is definitely helping Andrew Luck.
Stepping up, stepping away, looking, throws a little dart here that's bobbled and incomplete. Eric Ebron could not hold on. Luck goes to the turf. It'll be 2nd down and 10, and Luck right now is 9 of 15 for 89 yards, with the bulk of that coming on that one drive at the end of the half.
For Andrew Luck, you just wonder now if he needs to get more into the game. Take off and run with the ball a little bit. Don't be afraid. Do something to wake up this offense personally. This is his football team.
Luck over the middle into traffic and incomplete. That one intended for Chester Rogers. Halfway through the quarter now, it'll be 3rd down and 10. T.Y. Hilton today just held a 1 catch. Such a big part of that offense. 1 catch for 10 yards. Went limping off at the end of the first half. Battled through all kinds of injuries this year, primarily the ankle. Wild card game last week, 85 yards. Averaged 120 over the final 7 games. But today held in check. 3rd and 10. Blitz coming. And the pass is low. It is Rogers making the catch, but it might as well have been incomplete. Daniel Sorensen comes in there to apply the finish, and it's 4th down, just like that.
Well, you never know what's going to happen on the play, and yes, there was pressure. Good call once again by Bob Sutton to bring that blitz. But for Andrew Luck, he's got to get that ball to the receiver. He had some space out there. Maybe he picks up the first down running.
Sanchez, now this is his 5th punt. He's averaged 48 yards per boot. And the human joystick, Tyreek Hill back at the 20-yard line. Wobbly line drive kick. And Hill makes the catch and loses the ball, but alertly right there to recover it is Tremont Smith. So Hill along the sideline decided to make the catch. Chris Milton knocked it out, and the Chiefs retain possession. Start this drive with the pass that is taken in. It's Hill. With a first down out to the 32-yard line. Low throw. Hill going to the ground. Makes the grab, gain of 12.
It's amazing how accurate he is with these 3-quarter deliveries. Watch this. He's got a rusher in his face, so he just kind of drops it down and keeps it low, avoids any sort of turnover-worthy play, and puts it right on the money. It's one thing to make throws like that. It's another thing to have the kind of accuracy he's had with them.
Keep it on the ground here, and that's Leonard coming in to smother Williams. And once again, we go to Michelle.
Well, Al, you just detailed all those impressive stats Mahomes has put up this season, but he told us he also put up great stats at Texas Tech, and he didn't win anything. So instead of personal goals, Mahomes came into this season with 2 team goals: win the division and then the Super Bowl. And Al, the Chiefs are what, about a quarter and a half away from taking the next step?
And taking the American Conference Championship game right here. His college coach was Cliff Kingsbury at Texas Tech, who just got the Arizona Cardinals head coaching position this week, as the pass is caught by Sammy Watkins on the outside, taken out by Wilson. 5:20 remaining in the third.
The pace has been going so fast, we have to go back to show you a few of the replays. This one happened in the prior drive, but watch this throw as he drops down to get around the defenders. There's Kelsey on your left, and look, he throws it. It looks like it's 10 yards in front of him, but perfectly timed, perfectly thrown, sidearm delivery, and Kelsey makes the play. I don't care how well you play defense. Those are tough to defend.
What a baseball pitcher he could have been. 3rd and 5. And a whistle here. Of course, his dad was a pitcher. Mahomes was drafted. Here's Hussey first.
Full start. Offense. Number 75. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Cameron Irving. There's his dad, and his son was drafted by the Detroit Tigers in the 37th round, coming out of high school. They took a shot, just wanted to get his rights, and he said, I want to play football.
I'd say that's probably the right call.
So far?
Yep.
Who does he think he is, Russell Wilson?
Great athletes are great athletes, aren't they?
3rd and 10. Blitz coming, all out. Pass is caught, but a good tackle is made there by Kenny Moore, taking down Tyreek Hill as soon as the ball got there. And the Indy defense able to stiffen again. 4th down.
Well, now you're getting to that part in the game where you have to start taking some chances, right? They really have not been blitzing much at all, but now take a shot there, make them throw it hot, and they're off the field. The problem is not on that side of the ball. The problem is on the offensive side of the ball.
Colquitt, his first punt was blocked. It's this one away. Chester Rogers calls for the fair catch. And boy, that was a little dangerous, but hauls it in at the 30-yard line. 3:45 left in the third. KC up by 17. That pass from Luck is caught by Dontrell Inman, having a nice night after the 50-yard line. Tackled by Travarius Ward, gain of 19.
Yeah, and for Inman, I think he's just one of those veteran players, came over sort of in the middle of the season, that might well have to take over the #1 role here. I just don't think that T.Y. Hilton is right.
He has tonight 4 carries or 4 catches for 55 yards. Now Matt, and they really bottled him up tonight. That whole Indy running game has been non-existent. Gain of 4. Hitchens, former Dallas Cowboy, makes the tackle.
And it's just stunning. I remember how the Colts scored their touchdown on a blocked punt. So this Chiefs defense, which has been one of the worst in the NFL this year, is pitching a shutout to this point.
And they were next to last against the pass. Here goes Mack, and Mack with his by far best carry of the night to the 32-yard line, but there's a penalty.
Holding. Offense. Number 72. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And when the umpire throws it, that's normally the call. It's Braden Smith, rookie out of Auburn. Number 2 pick.
Boy, it's tough to hold when the guy's on the ground, but that's exactly what they called here. He's going to pull out and go this way. There's your hold.
Makes it 2nd and 17. Jordan Wilkins is now the running back, rookie out of Mississippi. Fake it to him. Luck steps up in the pocket, throws, caught, 50-yard line. Hilton starts to lose his footing. Down he goes. Well, you can tell he hasn't been right most of the season, but still has had a great year.
You know what? But sometimes the great ones have a way of snapping out of it, and just getting him the ball once at least will draw some of that attention back over to him that really hasn't been there throughout the course of the night.
3rd and 6. Look out, and Luck is going to go down. Justin Houston, on his 30th birthday, gets his 2nd sack of the night.
So here you go. You're going to get both top pass rushers on one side, which means Justin Houston's going to be inside against Lewinsky, the guard, and that would be a mismatch.
11-yard sack. Sanchez now for the punt. This time he lets it go, and it bounds into the end zone with a little over 1 minute to play in the third quarter. Kansas City hoping to have another home game next Sunday, up by 17. This drive begins.
That
with
ball
Watkins.
came out.
Yeah, it came out, and the Colts think they have it. There's no signal yet from any of the men in the stripes.
I thought it came out prior to the knee coming down, but hell, this is close.
So Watkins has it. Leonard is there. Spins him around.
It's out.
Ball's out.
And there's a clear recovery, too, right there.
So the Chiefs are trying to get to the line before the Colts can challenge, but that ain't going to happen.
The ruling on the field is a fumble. Recovered by the defense. First down.
Don't even have to challenge. They rule it correctly the first time. So Wright doesn't even have to challenge, and another gigantic break for the Colts.
Ball is definitely out, and great job. There is the play by the young phenom inside Darius Leonard that they've needed. They've needed a star to play like a star, and now defensively they have that play. And now you have to make something happen. There are just enough of those feelings amongst the Kansas City Chiefs and what's happened to them in the past that you get that general unease in this stadium when anything goes wrong.
Well, 5 years ago, they're resetting the clock to a minute. 5 years ago, Kansas City had a 28-point lead in Indianapolis and lost the game. Luck in that game. Take a look at what he did in the second half. He had 314 yards, and T.Y. Hilton had a monster day. So they start from the 20 here. Luck lofts one, and Hilton cannot make the grab. Good coverage that time by Kendall Fuller on the play. It'll be second down and 10.
Fuller out there has been doing a great job all year. He's playing after thumb surgery as well. You can see the big cast on his hand. So any thought of jamming or helping in that way, not sure he could actually make an interception or not, but got his hand on that one.
Come up here, Hilton wide to the left. They put Inman in the slot to the left. Put Mack in the slot to the right. So they go 5 wide on a second down and 10. Blitz coming, ball is out. Kansas City has it. Sent the extra man that time, got the turnover. Justin Houston comes away with the football. So on a drive where you felt it was imperative for the Colts to get back in it, instead Kansas City winds up with the takeaway.
Well, we were talking about the speed of D. Ford in the run game early, and now here it shows in the pass game. He has absolutely had a career year this year as D. Ford, 13 sacks on the season, and he puts the game back into the hands of the Kansas City Chiefs.
He had 7 forced fumbles during the regular season, most since the Colts' Robert Mathis in 2013. Now Mahomes tries to make it pay off quickly with a pass that is caught and was held down. Was he touched? And they're going to say that he was.
The ruling on the field is the runner was down by contact. First down.
Lost the shoe, lost the extra yardage. And he's down after the gain gain of about 14.
Down. Was he touched? Yep. Yes, he was. Good call.
Pierre Desir making a gain of 17 yards. Waning seconds of the third quarter. Mahomes looking at that clock, and he'll just let it run out and take us to the final 15 minutes of regulation. After 24-7, Chiefs. Divisional playoff on NBC continues after these messages. So we start the fourth quarter. Andy Reid, 195 regular season wins. Only Marty Schottenheimer had more without a championship. This is his 25th postseason game, most in NFL history without a title, but who knows? Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, and Michelle Tafoya as we head down the stretch. If the Chiefs win, they are here next Sunday and will host either the Patriots or the Chargers. If Indy somehow pulls off a miracle finish here, they have to go on the road next week. And they go either to Foxborough or to Los Angeles. As this drive begins with an 11-yard gain and maybe even more. Keeps those legs going. Does Damian Williams having a nice night. 69 yards for him on 15 carries and a first down.
The interesting thing about it is Andy Reid is opting to go right after these two inside A-gap tackles in there, and they are creating space right where the strength of the defense is supposed to be. This Damian Williams has really stepped up, obviously replacing Kareem Hunt. And since that changeover happened, they average 4.6 yards per carry with Kareem Hunt, 4.6 yards per carry now.
Williams' last 4 years with Dolphin, that's tipped in the air, and it's incomplete, and the flag is down. Looking over toward the Colts bench, so it's going to be against the Chiefs.
Illegal use of the hands. Hands to the face. Offense. Number 75. That's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
See left guard Cameron Irving.
Yeah, a little shot to the head. So many times those hands slip up a little bit. And that's what happened. But I tell you, with Cameron Irving back in there, this has been rock solid. You thought that the team that would be running the football in this game would have been the Colts, and instead it's been the Chiefs.
Yeah, that seemed to be the plan. Instead, you got Williams picking up some more yardage here. Well, Andy Reid, 25th postseason game. You know, we've told many stories about Andy, as affable as any man. 20 years ago became the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, but it's always, and we've talked about it before, it's the yeah but.
Yeah, I had a chance to announce the Super Bowl that he was in with the Philadelphia Eagles against the New England Patriots. Had an opportunity there, but I don't think there's any question. This is his best team so far, especially if the defense keeps playing like this.
Spinorama there to Williams. And he gets tackled by Leonard, who seems to be all over the place. You know, the thing with Andy, you know, 14 years in Philadelphia and kind of ran out of gas there. And people thought that he would take a year off. Maybe he needed it at that point. A lot of things were going on in his life, but no, he said, I got to get right back into coaching, and Kansas City jumped on it the next day.
Yeah, and he said that he had known the Hunt family for quite some time, and that when given the opportunity to come here, maybe he wouldn't have gone elsewhere, but when given the opportunity to come here with this classy family, he opted in. Look out.
Look out, down he goes, and that is Kenny Moore. Having a nice day. Again, that slot blitz paying off here for him. It'll be fourth down.
Well, Travis Kelce saw it. He just couldn't get his hands on Kenny Moore, who's really become, there's Kelce right there, looping right around, just ducked right underneath him, and Mahomes never saw him. So once again, this Colts defense giving their offense another opportunity.
Colts kick. short one and goes out of bounds. So the Colts, we keep saying, in dire need of a drive one more time. 12-11 left in the fourth. First down here. And they start with Matt up to the 21. I looked ahead. I think we transposed a couple of numbers. Justin Houston is not 30 today.
Really?
9 days. Yeah, you know, I thought it was the 12th. It's the 21st. Just to make it clear.
Well, he's got something to look forward to.
Yes, he does. Get a lot of presents now that we brought that up. Second down and 7. Luck under pressure. He's going to run with the ball and slide to a stop after he picks up the first down at the 29-yard line.
Al, just to put this in perspective a little bit, the Kansas City Chiefs defense has given up an NFL record 26 first downs per game this year. That was the Colts' 7th.
Unbelievable. They didn't have any until the last 2 minutes of the first half. Luck throws. It's a low throw and it's incomplete. Travarius Ward covering T.Y. Hilton. During the regular season, Chiefs allowed 132 yards on the ground, 273 passing, 405 total. And today, look at those numbers. Down near the bottom of the league in every defensive category during the regular season. But boy, what a job they've done tonight.
Bob Sutton's been great. And don't forget, in this building, they've been a much better defense as well.
That crowd noise certainly helps. Man, oh man, we've got a lot of flags. This time it's going to be
full start. Offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Well, a lot of defensive offsides against Indy. Now you got a full start here on Ebron. 2nd and 15. Frank Reich looking like Nanook of the North.
Boy, everything had been coming up roses for him as a play caller during that 10-win and 11-game streak. And today, just not.
Crowd roaring on a 2nd and 15. And that's tipped and batted and falls to the turf, incomplete. 3rd and 15. Chris Jones got a big mid on it.
Chris Jones has to be one of the most entertaining guys that we've had a chance to interview this year. Gets his hand on yet another one here. He of the loving the Captain Crunch milkshakes in town.
Oh yeah. As his favorite chicken joint. But he lost a lot of weight during the offseason. Don't ask me how.
I want to go on that diet.
3rd and 15. And Luck fires, and that is incomplete. Hilton couldn't hold on to it. Nelson almost came away with the carom. And again, they do push-ups for blowing the potential interception in his 4th down.
And that would have been the old pick 6 right there, I do believe. Hilton thought he was going to run the crosser, and Luck saw it in behind, and pretty much that's been the story all night. And there you go. You drop one in practice, you do the push-ups. I don't think I've ever seen it in a game, though.
Sanchez's kick, hold in 34-yard line. Hill's going to retreat about 15 yards, turn around the corner, and that's going to be about 60 yards that he ran to gain about 3. Kansas City has the ball. Kansas City, Missouri on this Saturday night. Divisional weekend getting underway. Been a long night for Andrew Luck and his group. Down 24-7. Holmes and company going to work from their own 38-yard line. Williams around the corner he goes for a hard-earned gain of 5. Nothing doing through the middle here for Damian Williams, their workhorse tonight. carried 18 times now for 78 yards. For the Chiefs, that big three: Mahomes, 278 yards through the air and a rushing TD. Hill, 8 catches, 72 yards. Kelsey, 7 catches. He's caught at least 5 in every game except the opener this year. Compared to the other big three, a whole different story. That's the story of the game to this point.
The Kansas City defense is the story of the game for me.
3rd and 7, what they've done to the big three for Indy, and that's a sack from behind, and that is Kenny Moore. Kenny Moore's had a really nice night, both in coverage, coming in, gets the sack here on the slot blitz again, and that makes it 4th down.
Kenny Moore just went right through Charkandrick West. We saw him do it last week, the exact same thing. Watch him just come flying off here. West is going to step over, and Moore just goes right through him for the sack.
Not here, coach. Just a few.
Fair catch is called for here. Rodgers has to do some acrobatics to haul it in. 8.5 to go. A 17-point KC lead. Eight and a half left in the 4th. Kansas City trying to go wire to wire tonight. Andrew Luck hit as he gets rid of the ball. The ball is out, and it's ruled an incomplete pass. Arm coming forward. Incomplete. 2nd down and 10.
You know, anytime you're going up against a speed rusher like D Ford, the one thing that can sometimes get you is exactly that. When he drops into that bull rush, you're so used to him coming around the corner, then he comes right down Broadway. That was pretty close there, too.
2nd and 10. Crowd roaring all night as they always do at Arrowhead. Here goes Mack, Marlon Mack, and a big gain before he is forced out of bounds by Jordan Lucas. Gain of 21 there for Mack.
Well, yeah, I think you have to do a little bit of that right now because they've got their safety, Daniel Sorensen, in there just playing linebacker, and the heck with this, right? Right there. And so now you get a big offensive lineman on a safety, and you get a chance for a big play. So there's still plenty of time if they can put something together.
Ryan Kelly, the center, is shaken up. He had to miss the last game of the season when they clinched the playoff spot at Tennessee.
He's had a rough go of it.
Yeah.
Neck, MCL. He's missed 4 of the last 7 games, trying to suck it up and play. And Evan Boehm will come in, I'm sure.
So Kansas City, if they can win this game, and obviously right now they're in the catbird seat, they would host the AFC Championship game for the first time in the 47-year history of this stadium. Let's take a look at the brackets right now. The Chargers in New England tomorrow. Jim Nantz and Tony Romo will have that for you as we look at what's ahead. And if the Chiefs hold on, Dallas and the Rams later. Joe and Troy loosening up their larynxes. Philly and New Orleans tomorrow. Kevin Burkhardt and Charles Davis, who's scheduled over the rest of the weekend here, as Marlon Mack comes close to picking up the first down behind a block by Boehm, who just came into the game. There is old number 67.
Pretty tough to be asked to pull on your first play in the game. You've been sitting over there probably stiff as a board. He comes in and pulls around and makes a nice block. So they get a little momentum going, but you're not going to see the Chiefs come out of this. As Bob Sutton likes to say, I'm willing to take a few body blows at this point in the game.
Luck forced to toss it underneath, intended for Wilkins, and incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, we've seen Andrew Luck miss a couple here, and there's Kelly over on the sideline. He is the brains of the operation. Everybody points to him how important he is being in there. And when he's not, usually Andrew Luck takes over all those line calls.
Naeem Hines comes in the backfield. Give it to him. And the rookie is off to the races here as he takes it to the 41-yard line. Hines, rookie out of North Carolina State, picked in the 4th round.
Yeah, and this is what they're able to do when they get those double teams going. And Andy Reid sort of anxiously doing the math in his head as he looks at the clock. That field goal now at the end of the half becomes a factor.
Luck deep down the sideline and busted up at the end, and then it's deflected, and it is not grabbed inbounds. That's Eric Murray coming away with it. Pass intended for Ebron. He wants a flag, doesn't see one, and it's 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Ebron really had a chance on this one. When you get a defender running behind you, you give up the chance to catch the ball. Just run right back through him. It's an automatic pass interference. Possibly should have been called anyway. It should have been. Should have been interference.
Oh yeah. Jordan Lucas is the guy who got away with it. Never turned his head. 2nd and 10. Hines. 121 takes care of the other. Murray with the tackle. 3rd down and long. Clock inexorably ticking down. 6.5 to play in the 4th.
And the Colts have to go. They have to pick this up. They're back in the huddle now. They've got to pick it up. They've got a lot of work to do, and Kansas City's offense isn't going away either.
3rd down conversions. Colts 49%. That was the best in the league during the regular season. Tonight, 0 for 7. Make it 0 for 8. Chris Jones deflected it again. 4th down.
You know, it's just such a powerful thing, and it's such a frustrating thing for a quarterback to have somebody just keep knocking the ball down. And for Chris Jones, he's been close all night. It just keeps making that play. And now we probably have the ball game right here.
Fourth and 9. Colts on life support. And the pass is hauled in by Chester Rogers. So a big conversion on 4th down. Move the sticks. Line of scrimmage is the 29.
Just those zone defenses, and really this Chiefs team now has been playing a little bit, I don't want to call it prevent, but prevent-ish.
Close enough. Luck going deep for Hilton, and he is able to make the catch for the touchdown. So Hilton bottled up all night long. Down the sideline he goes, coverage with Steven Nelson right there, and that stuns the crowd.
One of the key things as a receiver when you're going down the field like this is you want to hold off sticking out your hands as long as you possibly can. And you can tell because it was Nelson. He wants to react to what he's doing. Now he's got his head around, just literally never saw the football. So T.Y. Hilton, who's been pretty much a non-factor, quiets the crowd for the moment.
That's a Willie Mays basket catch, football style. Vinatieri now for the extra point. They're just confirming that on Park Avenue, high rent district.
If he makes this, and he had made the field goal at the end of the half, it could have been a one-score game.
If this is the first scoring of the second half, Vinatieri misses that one. Man, oh man. Maybe it's us.
Wow.
Vinatieri in his career in postseason had been 70 for 70 on extra points. his first miss here.
A little slight bobble, but he gets the ball down. He missed it left the last time, overcompensates, and man, every time you think there's something you can count on in the NFL, not so much. Now you have to wonder, do they go onside here?
Meanwhile, that field goal that he missed earlier, the 23-yarder, is the shortest field goal he has ever missed in a 20-year career. So an 11-point lead. Kansas City lining up, expecting the onside kick. 8 guys up at the 45-yard line. Kick has to travel,
and they're all
10 yards.
They're all packed right in the middle. May just be a middle dribble here.
It is. And the dribbler will be fielded at the 16-yard line by Tremont Smith. It's a good run back. Out to the 46. Vinatieri, 56 field goals, the most in the history of the league in a postseason for a career. 237 points is the most. This is game number 32 for him in postseason. Only Tom Brady, who will play in number 38 tomorrow. Go back to the shortest field goal he's ever missed, off the upright. And now the missed extra point. Meanwhile, Kansas City will start to use as much of the clock as they can as Williams gets thrust back after a gain of about 4.
Now that was an interesting strategy on that kick off. They took a shot at hitting Sorensen on the Chiefs. They tried to drill it right at him, and he basically played dodgeball around it to avoid contact and allow that ball to go on down the field.
And that's a strategy you'd think you'd see more.
Well, that's what they did. They packed everybody in to get more bodies in there to try and have a little surface area to hit.
2nd and 6. Here goes Williams again. Williams has a first down. Keep that clock churning to the 45-yard line. And Mr. Damian Williams tonight, 20 carries for 95 yards.
Let's go back to the kick for just a minute. There's Sorensen right there. And you'll see, take a look. Sanchez is going to try and drill him, and he just played dodgeball, barely missed him, or else that could have been a onside recovery. Ooh, it did hit him.
Spun all the way down to Tremont Smith, who had a good run back. So the ball at the 45 will be under 4 minutes at the next snap. Play clock down to 2. Give it to Williams again. He needs 5 for 100. He gets about 2 of those. It'll be 2nd down.
How bizarre would it be to have a knuckleball coming at you in a playoff game like that, and your only job is to get out of the way of it?
Well, that is a clock stoppage here. Colts take the timeout. They're first with 3:51. Meanwhile, you got some upcoming games. Done on Fox, Dallas and the Rams. Tomorrow, the early game in Foxborough is the Chargers at New England. You'll see that one on CBS. Tonight's game is on Fox, and the late game tomorrow also on Fox. Number 6 Philadelphia against New Orleans. Championship weekend presented by Intuit TurboTax Live. NFC Championship starts first, 3:05 next Sunday Eastern Time. AFC Championship, which might be played right here at 6:40 Eastern Time next Sunday. Wish our very best to our brethren down the line. Talked about the guys calling the games, and Jim and Tony. Good luck in the Super Bowl in Atlanta in 3 weeks. As Damian Williams goes down at the 39-yard line. Williams now with 102 yards on the night. And the Colts just take another timeout prior to what will be a 3rd down and 3.
Well, there's the guys that you have to beat on defense of the Kansas City Chiefs for Jones, for the most part, it was batting passes down. Justin Houston with that inside stunt to beat Glowinski for the big sack to stop that momentum shift. But maybe the star tonight really has been Dee Ford. Early with the way he stopped the run, that strip sack late, and eventually they're going to get you.
So Darrell Williams now in the game, 3rd down and 3. Colts are down to their final timeout. Holmes going for it all and a little too deep. Could not connect with Hill. Covered there by Kenny Moore, who has just been all over the place tonight. Moore with 8 solo tackles, 3 assists, and a couple of sacks tonight.
There are some people that can hit the jets. This slot go route has been so deadly all year for these guys. But you could see Hill just hit another gear when he saw the ball and just barely missed that one.
That was almost blocked again, and it spins at the 5-yard line. Meanwhile, you do have a flag down there where Colquitt got rid of it.
Running into the kicker, defense number 52. It is a 5-yard penalty that results in a first down.
Well, Najee Good wanted a second block and was a little overeager. He's the guy that blocked it in the first half. Here he comes. Gets him with his leg. Or does he? Just barely. Gets him on the way down.
Yep.
His foot gets him right there. So it was 4th down and 3. It is now 1st down. They're down to their last timeout in the 2-minute warning. For all practical purposes, this should do it. And Williams tries to add an exclamation point. Out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Man, oh man, a guy who backed up Jay Ajayi in Miami had a chance to start last year. Toward the end of the year, he got hurt. Winds up signing with Kansas City. Looks like he'd be the 3rd or 4th back. Gets 24.
Yeah, his mom basically tried to talk Williams out of going to Oklahoma. He said, "Are you crazy? They've got too many great backs down there. You're out of junior college. You only have a couple of years left to go. There's no way you're going to beat those guys out." He did, just like he's done his whole life. And now stepping in for Kareem Hunt, he's been fantastic.
Yeah, so he was really like 4th on the depth chart. Take it to the 5-yard line. You come here, you got Kareem Hunt, you got Spencer Ware, you got Kendrick West. And he winds up signing with Kansas City, fights for a job, and here he is tonight gaining 130 yards on 24 carries.
Yeah, and they liked him so much and what he's been doing, gave him a 2-year contract worth $8 million. But it really was, and you could tell that Andy Reid, the one thing that he knew was that he had some heat in the backfield. He told us, he said, "I had confidence. I knew I had guys that could fill in that position." I don't think that even Damian Williams, who looks like he's shot at this point, would have even imagined that here he is now, be heading for the AFC Championship game with a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
175 rush yards tonight for Kansas City. And bounces off a would-be tackler there. That's Nico Autry. So the Colts out of timeouts.
Now, I've got to tell you, the other thing that I've really found interesting is how improved, here's Vinatieri, it's been a rough night for him, how improved the bold moves that the Chiefs made in their secondary have been. They brought in Charvarius Ward, the rookie, to go out and play cornerback. They benched Ron Parker and Orlando Scandrick, brought in Ward, brought in Jordan Lucas, and this defense just looks different, and they may still get back Eric Berry for one of the next 2 if they get to one.
Right, doing it tonight without Eric Berry. Through the middle, trying to get into the end zone is the other Williams, and he does. Darrell Williams for the touchdown. game-sealing drive.
And watch who it is that pushes him over the goal line. Mahomes going to jump in there and give him a little push. Maybe as it should be. Who was it that got the Kansas City Chiefs over the goal line and over the curse of Christmas past with some of these playoff losses? Patrick Mahomes, and there he is.
That's beautiful. Butker for the extra point. It's one of the all-time cliches. He does it all, but with Mahomes, he does it all.
He does it all. And the best part about him is the new face of the National Football League, and I think there's no question that he is. That is a good face. That is a fine young man. Every time we've had a chance to meet with him, he's first class, he's honest, his teammates love him, his coaches love him, and about 70-something thousand in this stadium are extra loving him.
So it's going to be either the Patriots or the Chargers coming in here next Sunday, and each would be a rematch of a tremendous game, because we had that Sunday night game in Foxborough earlier in the season when the Patriots came away with a 43-40 victory, and then the Chargers came in here toward the end of the year and had that tremendous come from behind win that culminated with a 2-point conversion to win the game.
Got to be happy for Andy Reid, though, right? I mean, here's a guy that has been tortured in playoff games.
Right. From the 6-yard line, Zach Pascal. Now to the 32. That Patriot Chief game, week 6. They had 946 combined yards that night. Brady threw for 340. Mahomes 352. Crazy game. One of the best we've ever had in the Sunday night package.
Pretty good Chargers Chiefs game.
Oh yeah,
as well. Came right down to the wire.
2-point conversion determined that one, but KC was able to, thanks to Baltimore knocking off the Chargers, cement that #1 seed. Getting tripped up here is Hines, and he picks up 9 to the 40-yard line. And that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. That much time will be left before the Chiefs can begin the celebration as they're on to the AFC Championship game. 31-13 Kansas City. Second and 1 for Indianapolis as Hilton makes the catch at the 50-yard line. They'll come quickly to the line. Scandrick made the tackle. Ball at the 49-yard line. For luck tonight, 15 of 30 for 172 yards. Only one really good drive at the end of the half. Throws that one to the sideline. Ebron makes the catch, stays inbounds. Tremont Smith with the coverage. I think it's second down.
You know, it's been a tough night tonight, no question about it, but you have to like how this Colts team is positioned moving forward. Sometimes you just can't overcome a great team with a 2-week break to get healthy.
And they're a young team too, as Ebron makes the catch and goes to the sideline to stop the clock. But you're right, Chris, on one level, I mean, so many stories tonight, but that Kansas City defense rising to the occasion under Bob Sutton.
And there's Bob Sutton right there, and we say it again, you almost have to say two different defenses, right? 35 points a game on the road they allow, 18 points here. With this offense, you give up 18 points in the championship game, you're gonna win.
Throws, going to his knees, Chester Rogers. Reggie Racklin makes the tackle. So for the Colts, a 1-5 start. Red hot since, but cooled off tonight. For Kansas City, a 5-0 start. They were 9-1. They cooled off a little down the stretch, but win the night going away. 2nd and 7. And Luck fires and wide open and dropping it. There's a flag down to Reese Fountain. First time that he's been targeted tonight. Flag is down on the far side of the 10-yard line.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 35. The ball he places upon the foul. Automatic. First down.
All right. Travarius Ward with 34 seconds.
This can't be any more painful than that.
Yep.
He doesn't get to play that much. Wide open.
So they spot the ball at the 11-yard line. And Luck will fire into the end zone, and that will be incomplete. Ebron couldn't come down with it. The former Detroit Lion, making it 2nd down and 10.
Now they've even got their backups really in the game now for the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously bigger things ahead for them at this point. So starting to give some of those other guys an opportunity in the football game. And I'm sure they'd like to preserve what the first string has done to this point.
Luck fires into the end zone, and that one is incomplete. Snow Angels, Travarius Ward, Zach Pascal, who scored that touchdown on the block punt earlier. 3rd down and 10.
This Travarius Ward, I'm telling you, as a player, every week I think he gets a little bit better, He has been all over it. Steven Nelson on the other side is a cornerback that everybody says, oh, he gives up a lot of big plays. He's been thrown at deep more than anybody in the National Football League, and his percentage of plays given up, one of the best.
Little toss. Zach Pascal will get to the 4. It'll be 4th down. Clock keeps on rolling as Arrowhead Stadium gets ready to host its first ever AFC Championship game. Might not even get this playoff before the final gun, and they won't.
Almost ends appropriately.
Yep. Kansas City all the way, start to finish. Great opening drive, great second drive. Frank Reich ends his first year as a head coach with a defeat here after winning 9 of the last 10 in the regular season.